Okay, so I said I wanted to thank you all, but I thought I'd go around and try and talk about what each service area has done. So now we're in the housing needs area, and I wanted to particularly mention Coco and her team. That's where normally Coco would sit, and Sharon and her team. Both teams have done exceptionally well this year because domestic violence and single people have seen the highest numbers of people making homeless applications, and both teams have been exceptional. They've been very busy, and they've done exceptionally well. So well done to them. Housing options and the team leaders, both old and new, have also done very well generally. So that's brilliant. I haven't gone around to Lab Dreams team yet, but great thanks to them because the number of lettings that we've had to do, the number of people that they've had to find, accommodation for in the private sector and social housing. It's been an exceptional year, of course, and they've managed to do that as well. Supply and partnerships now. We all know about the shortage of housing. We know, how dire things are across the country, and no less in Brent. And due to the work of Akin, Sonia, and Catherine, and their teams, we've added more council properties, to our stock than we've ever done in many years. In fact, we've so far this year we've let 140 council properties so far this year, which is great. So well done to the team. As we go along, then we're going to reach private housing service, and I want to particularly thank Sharon and her team because we're heading for a record number of empty properties brought back into use, which is great. I also want to say, Tony, Teresa, and their teams, even though they haven't been able to do enforcement the way they used to and the way they would like, but they have continued to ensure our drive for quality of accommodation in the private sector has not relented. Neil would normally sit there. I call him Super Neil. Has ensured that our duty and our desire, to ensure the provision of adaptations to enable people to continue to live in their homes has continued to be met, which is absolutely fantastic. Housing officers would normally sit here. It's been, well, let's go to Dawn first. It's been a particularly difficult year for Dawn and her team. For reasons we all know about, people have not been able to pay their rent and service charges. But rather than sulk about it, what they've done is shown a different side, to what they do, and they've been absolutely supportive to people, pointing them in the right direction, ensuring that they get the support rather than, writing to them and threatening them with, not being able to pay. So that's really good, and that goes for both the rent and the leasehold team. So that's really good. And the Housing Contact Center, we now know will be merging with the Corporate Contact Center next year. But thanks to Sue and her team, Paul Beverly, we will be handing over a high performance service, and I'm really grateful for that. The caretaking service under Mahmoud, whilst most of us were working from home, keeping safe, the caretakers haven't been able to do that. They've been out there cleaning the estates, cleaning communal areas, and making sure, particularly under these current circumstances, that the communal areas are hygienic. They've worked every single day of the week, including weekends, to make sure that the estates are clean. And, as difficult as that sounds, we're getting a lot of compliments about the work they're doing. So I'm really grateful for that. And I want to thank Mahmoud for setting up a good service, and a special mention to Callisto as well. Now, property services. Sadia, normally Sadia would sit there, and her team, because of them, we now have really, really good information about our stock. And for the first time in years, we have an asset management strategy. And I cannot start to tell you how important this is. But it's really, really great, and thank you for that. Saeed and his team have ensured that we continue to deliver important improvements, to all our properties, even under the lockdown, which is really, really good. But Saeed, pity, we couldn't experience, Saeed's legendary Christmas party this year. Giuseppe, in his former role, and with Peter and alongside their teams, have made sure that our statutory responsibility for compliance has continued to be delivered. And then Valeska, very very capable team, and our partners in Waits have done impressively, really, really impressively, in terms of delivering repairs, and there is a lot to be grateful for, in the sense that we've continued to be able to do those repairs whilst the country is going through a pandemic. Unlike most London authorities, we didn't stop. We didn't just do emergency repairs. We actually were able to do all of our repairs, and we continue to do so. And residents have told us that they really, really appreciate that. So thank you all. Really appreciate it.